Hey guys, it's me. Um, this is week 2 math. We're going to be transitioning into volume. So I wanted to make a video to show you how to do some of the questions that you're going to be working on. And just stick with the basics for now. I'll put another video out to help you with some of the problems in your lessons. But for now, I'm just going to give you some of the basics of these, and let's just go over some of the vocabulary. Now, I abbreviated a lot of the stuff because we did volume a lot this year for our spiral review, so this should not be new to a lot of you. For those of you that came later in the year, maybe volume is something that you're not familiar with. But if you were with me all year, we've done volume for spiral review all year. So a lot of this should be review for some of you, and I'm gonna, besides some of the review content, I'm gonna give you a little bit extra stuff that you're gonna start to see in some of the lessons. So first of all, we all know that to find the volume of a rectangular prism or a cube, we can use two formulas. The first formula is the base times the width times the height, and the second formula is length times width times height. It doesn't matter which one you use, okay? It doesn't, they're interchangeable. So don't worry about what is what, and just remember that when you're doing volume, you need to multiply 3 digits. And those 3 digits represent the base and the width and the height, or the length and the width and the height. And we'll talk about that on these 3 volume questions that I have here. So if we look at the first one, okay, and we look at the base or the length, which is this part right here, okay, and we know that the base is 1, 2, and for right now we're just going to do 2 units. We're not going to worry about if it's centimeters, feet, it doesn't matter right now. Okay, so 2 is going to give me my base, or is going to give me my length, whatever formula you're using. Okay, the next one, I'm going to give me the width, or is the width. So 1, 2. That is also, the width for both of them are the same. So this is base times width, or this is length times width. So 2 times 2, okay, is going to be how I'm going to solve that. Okay, and 2 times 2 gives me 4. Okay. Next, I'm going to have my height. My height is how high, so 1, 2. So then I'm going to take the 4 and I'm going to times it by 2, and that's going to give me 8. Now remember the triangle that we used, right? Okay, in the beginning of the year. So 2 times 2 times 2. We're just going to go 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. And remember, we're going to do cubic units, so 8 cubic units. Okay, does that make sense? Now, there's another way to solve it, and you're going to see this also in your lessons, okay? It's going to say base times width is going to give you the area of the base, okay? Or length times width is going to, so they're going to ask you what the base is, which means what's the bottom. And then H is your height. That stands for how many layers there are. So let's break this one down, and we'll do it over here, okay? So my base equals my 2 times 2, and that equals 4, okay? My layers are how high it is, okay? So it's 1, 2 layers high. So I have 4 on the bottom, and I have 4 on the top. So I have 4 times 2 equals 8. So 8 cubic units. Okay, that would be the example for the first one. 2 different ways to look at it, okay? Let's look at the next one. Okay, my base or my length, is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 3. 1, 2. So 3 times 2. Okay, and then 1, 2. Now I have it set up like I did before when we're trying to solve that expression. It doesn't matter which one you multiply first. So just like we do expressions, or we do order of operation, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12 cubic units. You can also abbreviate it by putting 12 units cubed. Okay, and 3 means cubed. Okay. If we focus on the other way, we're just trying to find the base. Okay, so the base would equal 3 times 2. Okay, so on the bottom, the base would have 6 cubes. Okay, that's where I get my 3 times 2 from. Okay, and then how many layers does it have? Okay, so here is 1 layer, and here is 2 layers. So because it has 2 layers, that's where I get my 2 for my height, right? So I have 2 layers. So 6 times 2 equals 12. Okay, so I get my same answer. I get 12 units cubed. And then for my last one, okay, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 2 times 2 times 6. Okay, well 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 6 is 24. So 24 units cubed, or 24 cubic units. Okay, now if I'm doing it the other way, okay, over on this side, I need to find my base. Remember, your base, if we look over here, okay, this is how you find your base. Right, so your base is going to be length times width, or base times width, either one. Okay, so if I find my base is going to equal what 2 times 2 is, and that gives me 4. And then my layers are how high is it? Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 layers. So 4 times 6 equals 24 cubic units. Okay. Now let's do I'm going to draw one more, and I'm going to give you something that you might see when you're doing some of the questions in the very beginning of the unit. Okay. And I'm not going to draw a picture because these are going to be where they're just going to give you numbers. Now, we did some of these during our spout review, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. So let's say that the base times the width times the height, right, equals volume. Right? So let's say the numbers look like this. 3 times 4 times 2. We know that that's going to be 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, and we know that's cubic units. But what happens when they give you this? They give you the 3 times a number you don't know the width, times the height is 3, and let's say they give you the area as 90 cubic units. How are you going to find that out? Okay, well, there's two ways that you can do this. Okay, and this is finding the missing height. Okay, strategy number 1, strategy number 2. Okay, I can just fill in the blanks, and I can multiply what I know first. So I can go 3 times 3 equals 9, and then 9 times something gives me 90. Well, 9 times something gives me 90 would be, well, 9 times 5 is 45, 9 times 6, 9 times 7, 63, 9 times 8, 72, 9 times 9 is 81, 9 times 10. So 9 times 10 equals 90. So my missing width is going to be 10. The next strategy that I can use is I can do 3 times 3 equals 9. And then I can do 90 divided by 9. And then I'm just doing partial quotients. 9 times 10, I know is 90. And I have my 10. 2 strategies to find the missing. And that works to find the base or the width or the height. Okay? Either one of those 2 strategies will work really good for whatever you're trying to find the missing one for. Okay? Most fifth graders in the past have, if it's a smaller numbers they have to find, they use strategy number 1. If the numbers are pretty big, you have numbers in the hundreds or even the thousands, people use strategy number 2. Okay, I hope this video helps you a little bit, at least get started with volume. Please make sure you watch the other YouTube videos in my playlist. Those will also help you. And also make sure that when you are on your Realize lessons that you are watching that video that I assigned first before you start working on some of the unit questions on the pages that I assigned you. Okay. I will also have videos on working on a few of the questions that you have on those practice pages. I'm going to make those probably today or tomorrow. Okay. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, remember, have your parents message me on Remind, or have them message me through Edsby. Okay, preferably Remind, but Edsby also works. Take care and be safe.